Okay, in this step we're going to finish up our rotor here, which we put this sprocket onto the rotor earlier in the build, but now we're going to get this ready to interface with our servo. So the other parts we'll need, we need this other round part here that's going to fit over our sprocket, and also a push pin, the rotor push pin, which is just a little kind of square part with a little tab on it, and that lives right here in this slot when we're done. So we're going to cement that in place. The other thing we'll need for this step is our servo, which in this case this is a high-tech HS311, which is a servo we recommend that you use, and a roll of my duct tape, and that's just kind of a trick to give our rotor a safe place to sit while the cement dries, because it's going to have a pin sticking out on the top and a sprocket sticking out on the bottom. So the first thing I want to do is take out these machine screws that we put in earlier, because I didn't use 12mm screws, and that's what we're going to need for our final clamping. So I have 4 12mm screws over here ready to go. I believe these are 8mm that I used the first time. Might be 10s, but we need slightly longer ones, so I'm going to remove these. I'll speed this up so you don't have to watch me sit here and unscrew 4 of these. Okay, so the rotor's ready to go now, and what I want to do is get into my servo box here. And we don't care about the servo itself right now. What we want is a servo horn from the little bag of accessories here. The servo, I believe, yeah, it comes with a straight horn installed. We're going to take that off later. That's not the one we want. But what we're looking to do in this step is to permanently install this little 4-pointed servo horn into our rotor. If you're using a different servo, which I'd like you to be using this one, but it might depend on what you were able to get. You might have a 6-pointed horn, or you might not have a 4-pointed horn, and that is why the sprocket is cut with this strange shape, because it will work with our 4-pointed horn just as well as it would with a 6-pointed horn. We are going to cement the horn into the sprocket here, so the plan is to get this in place, cement and clamp this other ring over it. The thing is, the horn doesn't fit super tightly, and that's by design. So we were going to put some cement down into this recess before we put the horn in. Now, as we discussed before, our cement is a reactive cement that melts plastic and lets it mingle and weld together. However, the horn is made of a type of plastic that this cement does not react with. So we're not going to really be getting any cementing effect on this, but the cement does take up space when it is hardened. So we are going to use it just to do some gap filling in here, just to make sure that everything fits together tightly. But the step is pretty simple, so I'm just going to get down to it here. So since we're using a 4-pointed horn, I'm just going to flood the spot above the hole here pretty well, and below, and off to the right, and off to the left here. Just some cement to squish out of the way when we install the horn, and harden up later and just help us get a nice good fit. So in goes the horn, and before I place this, I'll have to point out that the horn has a part that sticks out of the bottom, and in that part are some gear teeth, and we want those to be facing upwards. We want to make sure that the socket with the gear teeth around the inside of it is facing up when we install it, just like this. So I'm going to press that in place and let it squish that cement, and then I'm going to add cement around the edge of this and around the screw holes. And it's okay that I used a lot. A little bit of squish here isn't going to hurt anything. So I'm going to run these 12mm screws in from the back. I'm going to start with 2 at opposite corners. And that gives me enough to stick this retaining ring to. And then I'll run the others. And as we've done many, many times, we're going to add nuts to these and clamp them back down. Okay, so that's it for getting the servo horn installed into the rotor sprocket. So next I'm going to cement the push pin into place. And I've got my little push pin right here. So the idea behind this now, we want to flip the rotor over. That is to say, we're going to install this push pin on the opposite side of the rotor from that hub that we've been working on. So I'll put a little dot of cement on either side of this slot, and I'm going to cement this tab pretty well. And insert that. And I am happy to see squish here because it means I used a good amount of cement. And I'm going to reinforce these edges with some extra. There. So I'll take a look at this and see that my push pin is nice and vertical, not leaning to one side too much. A little bit of variance wouldn't be too much of a problem, but we want to get it straight if we can. And now I'm just going to drop this onto my roll of tape like that, and that gives it a safe place to sit level while it dries out.